I'm live here from Copenhagen Fashion Week. My name is Ida. I work at Browns in London, and I'm here with the amazing Julie from Brøgger. And I've just seen her show, and I hope you guys did too, because it was incredible.
Thank
Julie,
you.
tell me all. I mean, like, obviously, it made so much sense when I see you now, because congratulations. As you can see, there's two of her. But your journey and this collection talks about, powerful women. And I think for me, even before I knew that you were going to be a mother yourself, I feel like Denmark's got so many powerful women and it's amazing. But can you tell me a bit more about the collection and the inspiration?
Yeah, this collection I focus very much about, actually this 1970s had like a very sort of diverse and contrasted representation of what it means to be a woman. It was a time where there was still like a lot of housewives. You had the first generation career women to like the very sort of sexy disco era woman. And I've found those contrasts really interesting, but they're all powerful in the right way, in their own way. My mum started her own like sort of career as a lawyer in the early 1970s. And I think obviously I wasn't there for it, but I remember seeing pictures of it, her outfits, but also Good Housekeeping, all Good Housekeeping magazines. And then I think a lot of us have seen a bit of like 1970s disco era at the minute with Holston and all that. It's like that kind of vibe that it's about what those women were and what they were sort of contrasting against each other that I found really inspiring. And obviously there's a little bit of the aesthetics of 1970s that's present in the collection, but it's much more about the sort of attitude of women, basically.
I love that. I mean, like, you always do like the best suits, I think, because you have this like amazing cut, but then also like just like beautiful colors. But I could see that really. Is that your mum then? With the pussy blow blouse and like the kind of sharp tailoring.
It's a time where it's the first time like where we saw a bit of power dressing for women, and like women wearing men's suits, like Annie Hall, for example, or men even wearing women's suit, like the Jaggers, a good example of that as well. And I think there's something so powerful about a suit and how it makes you feel. We've gone a little bit closer to the body this season, so it's like sharper cut. The shoulder is quite big, but it's like taped in at the waist, so it's still feminine, but it has a very strong statement of a powerful woman. And to me, we've been playing with colors this season much more. It's very pastely, which is a very soft tone against the very strong suits, which is something that first of all is a very pleasing palette to all skin tones, which is something that's quite important to me as well, because I want people to wear this. That's the whole point of to me, to do clothes, basically, anyways.
I love that. I mean, my favorite piece was the opening dress. I was like, that's so beautiful with the tie-dye and tying in all the colors that I could then see coming up from like the walk as well. But what's your favorite piece? Are you allowed to have one as the designer?
Oh, it's so difficult. I'm thinking you're just almost too close to it. So I think it's like, it's babies that you also like hate a little bit. You love them, you hate them one day, I think for me, I really love that print, especially as you say, because it ties in all the colors of the collection, but also that fabric, it's a recycled base. It's like, it's super easy to wear, and it's something you can put in the suitcase, that dress, and pick it up again, and it doesn't crease, like stuff like that it has a beauty and a lightness and still a wearability. For me, that is kind of the essence of all I want to do with my clothing. So that kind of that group in the beginning is probably my favorite at the minute, but it might change in a month.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're allowed to as well. You can have all of it. It's yours.
Thank you.
But I mean, I think it's so interesting that you said recyclable as well, because I think, sustainability, of course, is something that is so true to like Scandinavian fashion. Copenhagen Fashion Week has got this amazing initiative, the commitment. I mean, as a fellow Scandi, sustainability is something that's so dear to me. It's dear to Browns, and I'm really proud of like all the progress the designers that we work with, including yourself, of course, because we stock you, are doing. But tell me a bit more about like how do you approach sustainability?
I think to me, first of all, what I think is the greatest challenge for the fashion industry is longevity. To me, I think if we can, both from the designer's point of view, but also from the consumer's point of view, buy less and buy better. Like, I have no desire of coming like a super mega brand where we just sell loads of units. It's more about making sure that people fall in love with what they buy, then they treasure it, they will keep it, and they'll take care of it. And if something happens to it, they'll mend it. to me, that's like one of the key things about sustainability. But of course, we try to choose as many sort of materials as we can and work with people that work in a responsible way as much as we can. But it's still a challenge to create diverse collections where you're 100% sustainable. That is still a challenge, but we're all moving towards it. And I love the fact that Copenhagen Fashion Week has taken such a strong stance, because it just means, it just, pushes the bar a bit. And I think it's good for all of us to have that pressure to be like, when we do a show like this, and we've done it outside, we have no lighting.
Yeah.
The only thing we're using a bit of power for is the music. That's it. And I think we can do beautiful shows without having this huge production, building all kinds of stuff. Like, so it's not just about the clothes, it's about every sort of single step surrounding it as well.
I think that, I love that. I love how you thought this through and obviously work with your team as well to make it as sustainable as possible. How do you feel as an industry, how can we be better?
It's really, because it's still growing, the waste we are accumulating. And I think, but to me, I will still always choose sort of traditional wool fabric over sustainable fabric that won't last as long, because I still think that's the key issue. But it also means that you're going to have make sure that the consumer is aware of what's going on as well. And I think that's a challenge for the industry, because sometimes the fashion industry can be quite not very inclusive, and it's a difficult message to kind of make everyone aware of, but also stay authentic to it, because sustainability have so many different labels. So I think right now that's our biggest challenge, and I think we all have to do what we can do, but it's difficult when we have 10,000 different sort of definitions of what sustainability is. But I'm hoping that the consumer, and I think in Scandinavia the consumer is very knowledgeable, but we have a huge challenge with high street fashion and that sort of end of it. But I think it comes from all of us doing the best we can, and that's all we can do. And then all of the industry that surround us, like the textile industry, just thousands of years old industry. If I'm asking for it over and over and over again, they'll start making it, because that's how it works, basically.
Every percent counts. I love that. And I love how you talk about, I think you like myself, obviously, are not based fully in Scandinavia anymore. And I think it's so, you talk about authenticity and having that sort of who you are and what you stand for. And I think your brand does that. How does this, your Danish heritage combined with your new adopted hometown or country rather of England, how does that sort of influence your collection?
So I did my degree here in Copenhagen, and I think the Danish design and attitude to everything that's related to sort of design, architecture, clothing, all of that is a very sort of strong, you grow up with an understanding of good taste and beautiful design. You appreciate beautiful design, but it's very sort of focused on functionality.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest contrast to when I moved to London 12 years ago. It wasn't about functionality. It was about being crazy. It was about pushing all my boundaries. The beginning, the first time I did a flower print for the brand I work for, I was like, oh my God, is this ugly? Is it not? Because you grow up with this understanding of what is nice and what's not. So there's no doubt that my brand wouldn't look the same if I wasn't based in London, and it wouldn't be the same if I didn't have my design foundation from here. So it's definitely a blend of the two. And it's interesting to see how I feel like the fashion in Scandinavia has changed a lot since I moved from here. It's become more colorful, and I feel more sort of at home here now, aesthetically, than I would have 10 years ago. So things are evolving, and now, there's a lot of brands here that is doing really exciting, bright, colorful things as well. So.
Yeah, no, I love coming here because it's like an explosion of color. Obviously I love colors.
I put my least colorful outfit on, actually.
But knowing your collection, and you always have the most amazing prints, and I think bright colors. That was what drew me to you originally. I thought that was just incredible. Just having that visual thing, and then the shapes, as you said as well, that dress that you kind of bring out. That's now your signature. I absolutely love that. It's just so flattering on every body, and I think that's something as well. I think that you talked about that before, but designing for every sort of shape and person, and whatever your tone of skin is.
I think diversity is something. I think also that's something that comes from London, in a sense. London is such a multi-ethnic city that not having that as part of your DNA seems completely wrong in the context of where this world is. And being in London, that's our local area. It's like the people we surround us with. So it seems completely out of touch for me to not do that. But I think I want my brand to be inclusive, and I want it to be inclusive for everyone. And I can't design for someone that just looks like me. And also, I've been pregnant forever, so it's like, so I'm doing. I don't know if it's a wish to wear something closer to the body. I've done a few shapes that are a little bit more hugging, but there's also the idea of using a palette that sort of complements different skin types. I think is actually becoming more and more important to me. And yeah, then there are just some that also look better on boys. So we had 2 boys in as well. And it's not that I'm trying to do unisex. It's actually just to kind of make people question the clothes a little bit differently. Just be a little bit surprised by it and look at it in a different way. So we try to do that.
And you've been doing that for a while, because I remember coming here a few years ago when you had like just amazing men wearing your dresses, and I love that you were sort of showing.
He was the best one in that dress.
That
was the thing.
Yeah,
so
love it.
We have a super open casting process, and I think for me to have like a whole show where everyone looks like me, I think it's just, I don't think that's interesting to anyone. So
Sorry, guys, some technical issues here. There's a beautiful breezy wind here in Copenhagen. But back to you, Julie. You were talking about the importance of diversity.
Yeah, I'm just to sort of sum it up. It's just, I think diversity for us as a brand is key. We are based in London, and diversity in London is a given. So we try to bring that to Copenhagen as much as we can. So we always go in with like very open eyes, open heart when we do our casting, and that includes age, skin color, gender, everything, sexuality, everything, basically.
Amazing. I love that. Finally, Julie, how are you going to celebrate? It's done. The show is over for now.
So we're going to celebrate this day and what happened today. Like I have a very small part of my London team here, so I'm going to, we spend most of our time here just focus on the collection and fittings and all that. So we're going to try and have like a late lunch maybe and a little alcohol-free drink, and then back to it tomorrow actually, because this collection has another life. There's another big part of this collection that's not in the show. So, and then it's taking the collection back to London, and then a whole new set of things happens.
Never rest for the designers.
No.
Well, I hope you have an amazing time with your
Thank
team.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.